Cito world. Y'all know what it is. Everybody want to be spiritual till it's time to be spiritual. So let's get fucking spiritual. You feel me? Okay. So what we're going to do today, you know what I'm saying, is we're going to be talking a little bit about piecing together your ancient mind. And through, you know, you can do that through multiple ways. But the way we're going to talk about it is through simple decoding and mythology. Now, everybody has an ancient mind. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has an ancient mind. And because we all come from one thing, we all come from the Creator. You know what I'm saying? We all come from a source, let's just say more so. We all come from a source. And we're here in this body thinking we're human, but we're not human. We're actually just projecting this experience. And once you realize that, you know, you really want to learn how to travel and get really back to that source. And it's a travel that some can get lost in, some can get confused in. But nonetheless, it's a travel worth the while and worth the journey. And so as we're traveling back to our ancient mind, you know, that's what they will be, that's what, as we're traveling back to source, that's what they would call, you know, eternal life, or gaining the prize, or, you know, making it to, that's what really making it to heaven would really mean. Not more so, not necessarily this thing of anything good and evil, but it's just more so of getting back to your power. Now, the reason why we use these things like the reason why people would work with the ancestors and the Egyptians that kind of predate humanity or whatever, because it speaks to a deeper level of you. It speaks to a part of you that kind of predated this human construct that we live in, this construct of humanity. You weren't so mind boggled and fucked up, and you know what I'm saying, you weren't so much in your lower nature. You kind of understood what symbology was and what symbols were and how to decode symbol. That's why they were using hieroglyphs, and because that hieroglyphs told a story. You know what I'm saying? Those you know, those deities or those gods or the archetypes, they all had a story within them. You know what I'm saying? So when we get back to our ancient mind, we're more of our true self. So it's not really about becoming an Egyptian or becoming, you know, trying to utilize their power, because they kind of were created on Earth too. It's more so about understanding the concepts behind it and decoding it for your own self-transformation, so you can take what you need to from it. And really, how do we know that, you know, this shit really deals with the ancient mind? Is because of it deals with the subconscious, which is the subliminal conscious, which is, like I said, we get back to the decoding and shit, the decoding of different symbols and things. They speak to the subconscious in different ways. Now, mythology in itself should be one thing only. You know, it should be one thing only for an advanced person. You know what I'm saying? This video is a little bit more advanced, so if you're at an advanced level, then this will be more for you. But, you know, study this. This mythology should be for one thing and one thing only. It should be for an answer. That's the only reason you should study this mythology. It should be for an answer. You know, we play out mythologies every day. You know what I'm saying? We play out certain characteristics and attributes every day. In story form, the good guy and the bad guy, you know what I'm saying? The good person and the bad person, you know. It plays out in many different forms in your life, pretty much. Now what Hollywood did was take mythologies, which is a picture, really just a picture, and make it a long ass hour movie or 2 or 3. And so during this hour movie is multiple symbols and it's multiple symbology, but they're able to sit down and reprogram how you think based on these archetypes and what they relate to. You know what I'm saying? So, period. Now that's what stereotypes is. If you got a baby mama in the hood, you know what I'm saying, like a movie like Baby Boy where they just programmed you the whole shit. You know what I'm saying? They took you as a black male not being able to provide for his family and made it a movie about being moral instead of gaining your power, because your power isn't in morality, it's in gaining your power. Yeah, so my video had cut off, but so what Hollywood was able to do with these movies were program you into a stereotype. And what kind of broke that down was access to information. The information was always here, it was just nobody was utilizing it, because everybody was so programmed in their lower chakras. Nobody really wanted to go to the library. You know, nobody really wanted to, you know, unless you were passionate about it, pretty much. Unless you were passionate about it. And actually, we were kind of programmed to just be in our lower nature at all times, you know, with different commercials and, you know, a lot of information coming in. So the internet kind of broke this and was allowed us to access certain information faster. And so that was a push for more and more and more. And we were able to have a high energy calling for more, and that actually just got us back into our ancient mind just by the pictures alone, relating to that's what memes are, us being able to relate on a deeper level. You know, Instagram, we all dealing with pictures, and we all, you know, kind of connecting on a level of photos. That's because a picture tells 1,000 words. And really that's what the subconscious mind is. The subconscious mind reacts and responds to whatever you give it, you know, especially if it has a lot of thought and emotion behind it. And that's how it's programmed. That's how you have been programmed in the Matrix and 3D. So we're breaking out of that. Now, getting to what we're going to get to today is we're going to be breaking down this guy. So this guy came to me in dream form. I actually turned into him, you know, during a certain travel I was going through, and he was important. Now this guy, right? He's a symbol. And when I'm saying he's a symbol, basically that means he has a story. He has different characteristics. He has attributes. He's just not what you see. It's something behind him. It's something hidden behind him. Something hidden behind his appearance. You're a symbol. It's something hidden behind your appearance. You know what I'm saying? It's something. You have a story. You know what I'm saying? You have something being played out. I'm sorry. You have something being played out. And so, since he came to me so strongly a couple of days ago, I was like, okay, I'm going to really break this down and really, like, you know, get some understanding about it. So, getting to him, the first thing I noticed, and the first thing that's apparent is, why is this big nigga green? Now, when we get into green, when we get into green, we know green represents, on a basic level, fertility, reproduction. It represents, plants are green, what else is green? Leaves and shit. But I always got to take it a deeper. I love to get certain occult books, occult symbols, decoding, because they kind of tell a deeper level. Or like I said, even if you go to some of the dream sites and just type in green, or sometimes they'll give you a deeper understanding. Now, when I went to my book, it said ambivalent as having mixed feelings about someone or something, or unable to choose between life and death. And so that was interesting, because it was unable to choose between life and death. And when I think of something that's green, I think of like a plant or something that's, it's like in the middle between life and death. You know what I'm saying? So it made sense. It made sense to me. And looking more into Mr. Bruce Banner here, you know what I'm saying? When he's not being the Hulk, he's Bruce Banner. On his Wikipedia, it says, so Bruce Banner is a physically weak and socially withdrawn and emotionally reserved physicist. And so if they saying he's physically weak, spiritually what they're saying is that he has no willpower. He doesn't have, he probably goes to work every day, yada yada. He's socially withdrawn. He doesn't communicate his true self. He's emotionally reserved. He doesn't share his true self with people. And that really causes turmoil inside a person, right? Can you imagine how that might cause a turmoil inside a person? And so that person would be ambivalent as both life and death. Now, the reason why you would be ambivalent between unable to choose between the two opposing is because you've probably been programmed to fear death. And fearing death is silly, because if you get into death, you understand death is nothing more than transformation. So if you don't know where you go after here, or you don't know where you're going after here, then I can see how you would be a Bruce Banner type person. You would be. So this guy is really breaking down already what this was, because like when you don't get your way, right? When you don't get your way, and you don't have no power, you're socially withdrawn, you're physically weak and emotionally reserved, the only other option is to kind of be chaotic and lash out. You know what I'm saying? And that anger just grows and grows and grows. And isn't that what this guy does? And so he's already a symbol of a damaged ego, or a damaged heart chakra. So I wrote down that the Hulk is opposing of death. And I wrote down that Bruce is afraid of life. But it's also an opposite side to symbol. It's always the opposite to everything. Green is, like I said, if we think of green, we also think of flowers. We think of grass. We think of something that's in transitioning. Money is green as well. We think of something that's always in a transitioning state. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things. Reproduction. Renewal of life. It also says resurrection as well. So why would Bruce be this angry? You know what I'm saying? That's because he don't feel he got nothing to live for. You know what I'm saying? He's in this constant state of opposing life, but he don't want to die. That's what the Hulk is. Now, getting back to your nature of the true nature of green, if you want to get to like the nature of plants have life, but they don't have an ego. They don't have thought. They don't have this. They just in a constant state of what they are. And the only thing for you to do because you're in a constant state of life and death too, you know what I'm saying? But this guy is just a portal to the heart gateway, because the heart is the middle between the upper three and the lower three chakras, right? So if you fix your heart, then you're able to then allow you to see the other side of this guy, the other side of this symbol, the other side of this story. Eventually, he learns how to make peace and balance with this guy. And they do whatever they do, you know what I'm saying? But you just gotta tame your inner Hulk. And you do that through balancing your heart chakra. Not using anyone outside of you to balance your heart chakra. Because if you're doing that, then the minute they don't give you what you want, guess who you turn into? And you can say you're good, but are you really good? You can say you're past it, but are you really past it? You can say, but this mythology, this story still lives within you. And that's why it's important to understand the story. Because understanding the story allows you to know that, oh, it's just an answer. We study Hermeticism. We study the 7 laws of Tahuti, of Thoth, and Hermes. We study those 7. Everything has a rise and a fall. Everything has a rise and a fall. You guys know. Let me show you this picture real quick. And I believe this picture is Celtic, but this is a symbol of what green is: life, death, birth, renewal. The serpent chasing his tail. You know what's also related to this? The infinity sign, the infinity cycle. So you go through this cycle of life and the ups and downs to get an answer of who you are. Remember what I said, this is about getting back to your ancient mind. You've been programmed to live in your 3 lower chakras. You haven't passed this yet. You haven't passed this guy. There's 2 sides to this guy. Either you want to live in ego, jealousy, you want to live in fear, you're going to live in pride, you're going to be scared, or you're going to live kind of like the plants. You know what I'm saying? You're going to align your mind with compassion. You're going to align your mind with stillness. You're going to align your mind with balance. You're going to align your mind with progression and self-nourishment. You know, that's how plants grow. But ultimately, you die as a human. But that's what we were doing. That's what we were doing back with the ancestors. Like I said, this is about getting to your ancient mind, source. Tapping into source, going back into that. So then there's no fear, because you know when you have the answer of the cycle of time. Let's read what Ouroboros means, and that was that serpent that I just showed you with the tail in its mouth. Ouroboros represents the perpetual cyclic renewal of life, infinity, the concept of eternity, eternal return, and represents the cycle of life, death, rebirth, leading to immortality as the phoenix. So it said it represents the concept of eternity, the eternal return, it represents the cycles of life and death. If it represents the concept of eternity, that means it's a symbol. It's the same thing this is. It just has an answer in it. It was just a tail of serpent, but they saying that's a powerful symbol. If it represents eternity and returning to and leading the cycle of time leading to immortality. You get what I'm saying? So it's deep. It's deep. It's deep. Now another person that was green that I had to look into, well actually it just said it in the color green. In my book it was just like Osiris was green. And what does Osiris represent as a green? As green, it said green unripe corn, which turns into gold. Now we all know what gold is. Gold is, you know what I'm saying? Gold is illumination. Gold is immortality. Gold is what the alchemist must become. You know what I'm saying? Gold is that, which is, you know, look up gold for yourself. Look up what does gold mean in occult science. You know what I'm saying? In the occult science, not what does gold mean on the average nigga. You know what I'm saying? You're not really gonna get nothing out of that. But what was the symbol of gold? Why did the Egyptians wear gold? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this is all about ancient shit. It's the closest thing. It's the closest thing to your ancient mind. Yeah, so Osiris represents green unripe corn, which turns into gold. And like I said, it just represents you just represents that stillness and being ready to, you know, and also I think what represents gold is the attainment of illumination. So it's just like what helped Osiris, you know, who redeemed Osiris. And we know that was Horus. Horus was the golden bird, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and that's just thought. You know, thought helped being able to be in a certain type of mindset. He was a sky god, you know what I'm saying? Osiris is just the god of fertility. He was the god of fertility. Green is a symbol of fertility. Green is a symbol of production. Green is a symbol of anything. That sounds a lot like your subconscious mind. That sounds like anything could come from that. So when you know how to understand, when you understand these things, you're working from a different playing field. You know what I'm saying? Understanding a symbol is like passing a grade. So if you like in second grade and you still dealing with second grade shit, and I'm in college, we not on the same level. You get what I'm saying? We not on the same level. We're in different play. If you in fifth grade and I'm in college, you know what I'm saying? Even all the way, you know what I'm saying? Even I'm at a different level than people in college just because of what I understand. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just that simple. It's like we're not in the same. We're not. So either you get back to your ancient mind and you find a way to work with your symbols, or you just bullshit all day. You know, you're going to keep going through the same loop until you're able to understand, have a deeper understanding. And understanding comes through the heart chakra, the middle chakra, the green. Understanding humanity, understanding compassion for self. Now, I think I wanted to do an Infinity Wars breakdown, but I don't want it to be the same video. So I think I'm going to split it up And this is going to be a part 2, the Infinity Wars breakdown. So that's next for my video. Subscribe. I appreciate y'all sticking with me.
You wanna kick it with them legs?